Some relationship dynamics are just too much. If you've ever wanted to break up over something that could easily be fixed, this story might be for you. I'm Josh with aitah Stories, your home for the juiciest stories and the hottest tea. In today's installment, the original poster wants to know,
am I wrong for refusing to sit on furniture covered in period pads? So I, a 28-year-old female, have been dating my boyfriend Nick, a 30-year-old male, for about a year now, and we generally have a great relationship. Except for one thing. Nick has this weird obsession with protecting his furniture whenever I'm on my period. He insists on covering everything I sit on with these heavy-duty bed pads, like the kind you'd use for a toddler who's still potty training or an elderly person with incontinence issues. Now, I'm a grown woman who has been dealing with her period for over a decade without any accidents. But Nick seems to think that as soon as my period starts, I'm some kind of ticking time bomb ready to explode all over his precious furniture. Here are 3 particularly ridiculous examples of this. A few months ago, we were having a movie night at his place. I was excited to just chill on the couch and watch a new series we'd been binging together. As soon as I mentioned that I had started my period that day, Nick sprang into action like I'd just told him the couch was on fire. He ran to the bedroom, grabbed one of his giant bed pads, and laid it out on the couch before I could even sit down. When I asked him what he was doing, he said, "I just don't want to risk it." This couch was expensive. I tried to assure him that I wasn't going to ruin his couch, but he insisted, saying, "Better safe than sorry." Last month, Nick and I were getting ready to go out for dinner. We were in his car, and as soon as I sat down, I noticed something crinkling underneath me. Sure enough, he had put one of those bed pads on the passenger seat. I couldn't believe it. When I asked him why, he said, "I just had the car detailed last week and I don't want any stains." I was so embarrassed and annoyed, but I didn't want to start an argument right before our date, so I just sat there feeling like a child who needed a booster seat. The most absurd incident happened just a couple of weeks ago. We were hosting a small dinner party with some of our friends at his place. Everything was going great until it was time to sit down to eat. As I pulled out my chair, I noticed, yep, you guessed it, another bed pad. I was mortified, especially because our friends were right there. I pulled Nick aside and asked him what the hell he was thinking, and he said, "These chairs are white, and you know how hard it is to get stains out of white fabric." I couldn't believe he was more concerned about his chairs than my dignity. I've tried talking to him about how this makes me feel, but he just brushes it off, saying he's just being practical. He even tried to justify it by saying, "You never know what could happen, and I don't want to take any chances. It's not like I'm walking around free bleeding all over the place. More power to people who do that, but it's not for me. I like to stay clean and tidy down there." The more this goes on, the more I feel like he's treating me like I'm some kind of liability just because I have a period. It's getting to the point where I don't even want to go over to his place when I'm on my period because I'm tired of feeling humiliated and infantilized. So, am I wrong for refusing to sit on furniture covered in period pads and wanting to tell Nick to knock it off? Or is he just being practical and I'm overreacting?
we're afraid this isn't going to get any better. He seems to care more for his furniture than he does for her feelings. The dinner party? That event alone would have been enough for me to shove that pad in his face and walk out. My question is, if she stays with him, would he also do this to any daughter they had? That's the deciding factor for me. Get out! Get out now, OP! We'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Drop them in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily stories.